What's up, Jooms? JonJonTheWise here. Thank you for watching. This is a collaboration with a bunch of folks, namely Northern Exile, another YouTuber. We've decided to collaborate together on this Cyberpunk Red campaign set in 2087. So we hope you guys enjoy this session 0, and we hope to see you guys on the later episodes, which will be coming shortly. And thank you all for the support. Make sure you go to Northern Exile's YouTube. You give him a like, a subscribe, and all those things. He makes content about hobby nightmares and Warhammer, but it's not always related to Warhammer. And it's mostly about stories of the worst things that have ever happened to you during your hobbying in tabletop gaming or wargaming, you name it. People send in their stories and Northern Exile reads them, gives his commentary, and there's a lot of great stories in there that we can all relate with. So if you like that kind of content, go ahead and give him a subscribe and enjoy the show. All right, guys, here we are. We're in Night City while everybody configures their stuff. It's okay, we could just get started.
Hello.
We are on Tabletop Simulator. We are playing Cyberpunk 2087, 10 years after the video game. Let's start with North. Tell me your player's backstory, and I'll try to connect them. I just need this to know for the campaign.
Okay. So he's Theo. Theodore is his actual name, or Teddy, as he goes by. So he is how do I put this? A bit of a dick, put it mildly. He has raging daddy issues. And he was born in Japan, in Tokyo, to his mother, who passed away thereafter. He makes as well. I don't know how much do you want me to go into his backstory, or do you want me to just cover it? Because it's a lot, but it is
just like the cliff notes, basically like the bullet points, and okay. And then because I forgot how we connected and I want you to tell me about your allies and enemies and how we connected them.
Right. Okay. So we're going in depth a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
All of you would know in the group who his dad is, right? His dad was Kerry Eurodyne, who is actually in Cyberpunk 2077, if any of you have played that. I'm sure most people watching have. Essentially, Kerry was a bit of a deadbeat dad, let his family go to Tokyo and stay there in the divorce settlement. And essentially, my character, Theo, Teddy, ended up joining Arasaka as like a fuck you to dad, because, you know, everything that he does is a fuck you to dad, because it's how he is. He joined their counterintelligence in Tokyo. In 2077, the game happens, and anybody connected to V is persona non grata in Arasaka. And so our friend Theo is placed on a purge list. Doesn't even know why. He has no idea that his dad's connected to V in any way. And there we go, right? His family has to go into hiding. His mum dies in England of cancer, and his sister gets married over there to the aristocracy. He flees to Night City and has generally been keeping a low profile in Night City for a while now, about 10 years, as a low-level thug, as a bit of muscle, using the counterintelligence work he's been doing for Arasaka to basically pay the bills. He's been trying to stay under the radar to protect his family, but now word reached him that his sister is basically out of reach of Arasaka now, and they're not really looking out for her anymore. So he's now going, okay, well, fuck it, let's go and make some good money. Let's go and do some stuff. And I think, in terms of how I know the rest of the party, I don't know. David, what's your character's name?
My character's name is Eris.
Okay, I don't. Are you lady or guy? That could be either.
Lady.
Lady, okay.
Well,
so
it generally presents as neither as far as anyone's concerned. Okay. But biologically.
So, in terms of, I don't know that character yet. I think we can get into that later on. Or maybe quite cool that there's always an unknown entity that I don't know. That might be cool. But in terms of other characters, I know Steady. What's your character's name again? Remind me.
Darby is his handle, but he's called Manafau is his Christian name.
Okay.
Really.
So Darby, or as I like to call him, Bowler, because I actually know what his hat is. So we actually met when I was actually going after one of his bosses. So I was paid to go after a low-level crime boss that he was working for. I ended up taking him out. And during the mission, Bowler literally reached over and took my gun off me, which is a Malorian knockoff. It's Johnny Silverhand's old firearm, not the actual one, a knockoff. It's it could be made of plastic for all we know. And his genius basically meant that it's now workable. It's a workable gun. It's nowhere near the actual Malorian, but it's a workable, cool-looking gun. There's a few parts of it that just look really cool, that don't have any function whatsoever. That's what it is. Essentially, the only thing Kerry left to my character was that, from his own personal collection. Thought it'd be cool to give the Malorian to his son. Wasn't. It's kind of a backhanded thing, as all things are with Kerry. And since then, I drove him back to his shipping container where Bowler or Darby lives. Reside. And he also has my walk-in wardrobe in my apartment is actually now a workshop, a weapons workshop for Darby to go in there and work on different weapons that he wants to use. And if he wants, and I think we kind of worked out that if there's anything that he doesn't know how it's going to work, he gives it to me to test in the field because nobody would give a shit if I blew up. So there we go.
I don't care. More interested in the actual items and the equipment than the people, really.
Yeah, so just to clarify, Teddy's on a job for some tiger claws. I think he was
yes, tiger claws,
against tiger claws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was on a job and it was against the tiger claws, went into one of their safe houses, killed everybody. Steady was one of the people that was there. Darby was there. And Teddy saw him and saw that he wasn't really a threat and was like not even trying to fight him, and the guy was just like working on stuff on a desk, so he wasn't like a combatant, and it kind of just threw Teddy off, because he's like, oh, I was just like over here killing everybody. And then Bowler turns around, looks at him, looks at his gun, picks it up out of his hand and just starts working on it, because he probably thought like, oh, this is just another one of the gangsters that I'm working for. When we get to Steady's, when we get to Steady's character, we'll figure out, we'll see like why he's that way. But Teddy was, kind of intrigued and impressed at the same time, and said, hey, you want a job, basically, to this guy. And Bowler's like, sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's all the same to me.
Like just in them sort of 10 minutes that I had the gun or whatever, I could have made the trigger on it a little bit more operable than it was before, and he took the gun back and he thought, oh, this guy actually knows his stuff or whatever.
I think we talked about like we could do like a table or something, make a table of things that Darby could do to the gun. They can make it worse or better.
That would be great.
Random effect.
That'd be kind of cool. So that's how he knows Darby, and I think that's the latest one that we've met. I think that would be a better way of doing it, because the reason why I was going after the tiger claws, and I always take contracts on them, is because when Theo got to Night City, he actually fell in with the tiger claws quite a lot, because obviously they work for Arasaka. So he's hiding in plain sight, sort of a thing. He's working with the tiger claws, thinking we're better to hide. You know what I mean? So he ends up getting into a relationship with a woman named Akari, who is another tiger claw, and eventually Akari is sought after by another tiger claw by the name of Arata, or the Rat, as Theo likes to call him, the fucking Rat. And essentially, I don't think, did we work out how he did it? Did he send Akari on a mission where she was basically going to die? Did we do that?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. He sent her on a suicide mission because he's like, if I can't have her, no one can.
Yeah.
And she didn't know it was a suicide mission, and we didn't know till like after the fact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I found that out. I pretty much put my ear to the ground on what happened, and I ended up finding out that Arata, this piece of shit, got my girl killed. So from then, my next job was literally, a job came up on some tiger claw dude. So I went and took them out, and lo and behold, met Darby. So that was the latest thing that's gone on there.
Yeah.
My actual... Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, and Darby was working for Arata as well. So Arata is like the fixer that connects you guys.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah. He's a low level. Like,
Okay.
you guys have graduated past him, especially Teddy. And he's like jealous and petty and vindictive. And he doesn't like the fact that you guys are like surpassing him in as far as reputation and everything. And so,
Like energy.
Sounds good.
yeah, so he's just like lashing out in whatever way he knows.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, speaking of small dick energy, Barry. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, my actual oldest friend in this is actually Barry, who's the first merc I came across, which is Board's character, the first merc I came across in Night City, and we've done quite a few jobs together over the years, and kind of bonded. Like, we've gone out for drinks and stuff, and he's seems like a cool guy, and he also has some daddy issues, so we bonded over those, and that was kind of the end of our friendship, sort of a thing. I'm not sure if Barry was there. I think a really good conflict being introduced into our relationship is at the Arata vengeance job, in which I met Darby. I didn't tell Barry because I didn't want him to get hurt for my bullshit. Do you know what I mean? So I just went on my own. So maybe that could be like a, you know.
And that's the other thing. Arata's worked with Barry as well. So when Barry left his corporation, and not left, he was kicked out basically of the corporate zone, and then he's on his own, opened up his own clinic. And then in comes in Arata with like two guys bleeding out, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me out? I'll pay you good money." And then that's how their relationship started. So I'll leave it up to Barry on how he feels about Arata, but I'm sure that he's been a rat to you as well. But that's what connects you guys. Like, he knows all you guys, and then you guys all meet each other separately and make your own connections outside of Arata, which I'm sure he didn't like either, because he's like, "Hey, if you want to talk to the med tech, you got to talk to me," and you're like, "I'll talk to whoever I want." You know what I mean?
I mean, depending on if Okada, what was her name, the lady of Eastbrook, what was her name?
Wakako,
yeah. Depending on if she's still alive or not, I'm guessing I'd take jobs from her, if anybody, now for the Tiger Claws.
Yeah,
if I was going to do any, but
yeah,
he's kind of, Theo's stuck in limbo, right? He wants to really engage with his past and his dad and samurai and where he comes from, but he also fucking hates it and wishes he didn't feel that way, So that's basically where he is, and he values his word and his drive most, I guess. So he doesn't mess with those things, essentially. He can speak Japanese and Mandarin, of course, and obviously is English as well. So he can speak English. So that is Theo.
And then there's Darby Bowler.
Yeah.
Tell us about him, Steady.
Yeah, well, Darby, aka Bowler, or what he would prefer to be known as Bowler, but Darby just stuck because of, we'll find out and I tell you his backstory. But so basically, Manafau, as he was born, was a Western Samoan. Yep, and basically they got exiled from Western Samoan area for unknown reasons, headed towards to Night City to make a better life for themselves. And somewhere along the way, near Night City, they ran aground and left Darby Manafau, as he was known back then, to his own devices because he lost both of his parents. And basically, this teenager was stranded in Night City with reasonably engineering sort of related gifts, and ended up looking around the scrap yards and doing various sort of inventions and tinkering with things and eating sort of hand to mouth, and he got discovered by the Voodoo Boys at a fairly early age, sort of 15 or whatever, and they sort of quote unquote took him under the wing. And
that's where Arata found you, basically. That's where Arata found you.
Because during one of the heists, he was working with a fellow, well, not fellow really, another voodoo boy tech, by the name of, let me just get this written down. Hexbit was, and he and Darby. Oh, the reason why Darby got his name was because he had the bowler hat at that time, but nobody within the Voodoo Boys wanted to listen to that, and Darby just stuck. And now he loathes anyone calling him Darby, even though that's his handle. But it's actually a bowler hat what he's wearing.
Yeah, I'd like to think that he started working with the Voodoo Boys because they saw potential in him, but they just used him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It wasn't like a productive relationship. And Arata found him and told him, like, hey, you can make some real money working for me in the Tiger Claws. And and that's when he's like, well, as long as I have a desk and equipment and all that, and I can make money doing that, then that's all I need. Yeah, so I would say Arata basically said, like, hey, the Voodoo Boys are after you because of something that you built, but I can protect you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a job and I'll protect you. So it's kind of like,
sounds good to me.
Darby's like, okay, fine, and that's exactly what he did.
And then he didn't have he's by no means a people person. He just, as North described, he just sort of worked in the repair sort of upgrade shop within the Tiger Claws sort of basement, and he's just doing sort of lackey work for everybody, but he has a very keen interest for guns, equipment, all techie stuff, and he actually has a friendship with inanimate objects more than people per se. And in his own time, he's been tinkering with his drone, which it handily sort of docks into his bowler hat, and he's been working on this emergent AI called Aura. Aura. And that's what he does in his sort of own time, tries to tinker with his AI and his sort of equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah, he has a close relationship with an AI that he basically created.
Yeah.
Named Aura. It's in his drone. It's in his agent. Because it can move, it can move to any kind of database that you put them in, or them in, whatever it is.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then we know how he connected with Teddy, with Theo.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about that. So now they're working together. Technically, he doesn't work for Arata anymore. He works just for Theo. And Theo's getting enough work out there with other fixers. And when they need a tech, he's like, I got a tech. You don't need a tech. I got a guy. And they basically like work together on jobs. So we'll move on to Board's character. Go ahead, Board.
Darren, but his handle is actually Doc. Everyone knows him as Doc. Born into a life of privilege, went to the best schools, lived in the corpo zone, had the best food. And this was all thanks to his father, who had a reputation as one of the best doctors in Night City. However, won't go into too much detail, but due to some corporate shenanigans, his father was supposedly overdosed, but he knows that it was probably the corpos taking him out. However, he blames his father for the whole thing that happened during that time, which had him and his mother kicked out of the corpo zone. They were then living on the streets of Night City trying to make ends meet. He tried earning some money through playing violin, which he had picked up during his school days. That didn't work out. And he was, at the time when he was kicked out of the corpo zone, he was in med school. And he didn't want to follow in his father's footsteps, but in this time he sort of was forced to. And he ended up starting up his own underground clinic and dealing in pharmaceuticals, healing the sick and wounded lowlifes of Night City for every bit of eddies that he could get his hands on. And at some point he met Teddy, I don't know if we described exactly how we crashed into each other, or if it
could
was a
just be
fix.
on a mutual job. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
Like, a job
Right.
goes well, we go for drinks
Yeah.
afterwards, as
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, you met Arata, and Arata
Arata.
introduced you to not just Teddy, but other solos, other Tiger
Yeah.
Claws, lieutenants. I'm sure you met Darby once or twice. You know what I mean?
And yeah, as Board said, sort of bonded over daddy issues, saying, "Well, you hate your dad. You say he's a piece of shit. My dad's also a piece of shit. Let's have a drink together and shoot some pictures of our dads on target practice." And yeah, I don't know if you want to go us to go into our what's the connections, or like our what's it, family relationships and all that, the enemies and friends.
Yeah, tell me about your enemy and friend. Yeah, I want to know that.
All right. Yeah. So we have his martial arts mentor, which I think we did discuss. His name is Shinji Sensei, who taught him a lot of judo. We have his friend from the streets, which is James T.
And also, sorry
Just
to interrupt
James
you. He
Yes,
taught you judo during your corporate life.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so he was like your instructor when you were in
Yeah.
corporation, and then
Yeah.
you guys kind of disconnected, obviously, because of what happened. But he still
But he-
very much respected you.
Oh yeah. And he's always Darren's always admired him. Just he has that sort of presence. I don't know if you've guys have met in your life, like those kind of guys that not only have the presence of they cannot be messed with and nothing phases them, but has the skill and competence to back it up.
Yeah, I like that.
Then, yeah. And he's always admired that sort of strength that comes off Shinji. James T is his mate from the street. Basically, when he was first few months out on the street, didn't know anything about how harsh Night City can be. Basically, had everything done for him, so was really a fish out of water. James T sort of took him under his wing and taught him where to go, what to do, and basically just how to survive.
And James is he just like an edge runner? What is he?
I think he's just a guy on the streets. He's not particularly an edge runner, but he's a guy that knows things. Maybe an information broker sort of thing. Like he knows who to talk to. He knows where to go. Not a combat guy, just he knows the ins and outs of the city and how it works, how the bread is made. And then lastly, and friends-wise, we have Tara, who is his assistant at the clinic. Basically, when he's out doing gigs or something, she's there watching over it, putting in appointments that need appointments, and making sure everything stays decent. She just happened to be the one person who answered his wanted poster for assistance. And yeah, she just helps him out also if he needs someone to help him with surgeries or anything. She has quite a bit of medical knowledge, but nothing major, because or else she wouldn't be working for him. And yeah, John GM, just if there's anything that doesn't fit, just let me know and I'm happy to change it.
No, that's perfectly. I think it's all wrapped up perfectly. You have your own personal life, people that work with you. You're connected to the other two characters in that fixer. How does he personally feel about Arata? You know, because you're. It's up to you how deep your relationship is with Arata.
Yeah.
But
well, I assume Teddy told Darren everything that happened with his girl.
I don't know whether, again, this is your part of the backstory, so feel free to change it. But like, I think I would have just gone. In my own head, canon, it kind of makes more sense for maybe Arata showed you the side he wanted to show you. you were like, hey, this guy's giving me good stuff. Like we're getting on well. We're doing good jobs. Then all of a sudden, one of your best friends just murks the guy, or goes try to. You know what I mean? Just try to. You know, and actually goes out there and gives you a bad name as well with a tag clause because you're connected to me.
Yeah.
You know. So now all of your jobs from Arata stop. He's still alive. He just stops giving you jobs because you're connected to me.
Yeah.
So it's up to you whether that's a source of conflict. You're like, hey, he was a cool guy, and you trust what I say, but like, still, you should have come to me first.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to you though. You know.
He might have said, "Come to me." You should have maybe talked to me first about it before just going off on your own. But if Teddy comes and says, "Hey, this guy's a rat, he's a snake, and this is what happened," he would have probably believed you and said, "Yeah, rats need to get what's coming to them," because with everything that's happened to him with the corpos, he's very sensitive to betrayal and all that sort of stuff. So I think he definitely would be more with you than against you, and would say, "Yeah, screw that guy."
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure Arata also came in and tried to do his own damage control and said like, "Oh, stay away from Theo," and like made up some things, and you just kind of, it didn't pass the sniff test with you, where you're like, you know, Theo sounds like he's telling the truth, and Arata sounds like he's like making up shit.
Maybe I have evidence or something like that. Some sort of like, if you want me to have evidence, or it could just be like, "No, you're my friend, I trust you." You know what I mean? It's up to you.
I think it's more like we've done jobs together and like bled together sort of thing. It's sort of that brother bond sort of thing. Like, hey, I trust that guy more than I trust you, the dude that sits behind the desk and just pushes money around.
Even though Arata gave you a lot of work, you still have other clients. You know what I mean? He's not like your boss. Yeah. You have your own clinic, your own business, and he gave you a lot of work. You met a lot of cool people, but there's still people coming into your clinic that have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Then in regards to tragic love affairs, I did roll for this one just out of interest, and I got my lover was imprisoned. So what I'm going with is, I don't know exactly what happened, but he sort of got close to a girl who I'm calling Lucy, in quotation marks, Lucy Luck.
Not that one.
Not that other Lucy.
No.
Yeah.
And basically the luck part is actually she's not very lucky at all. She's very unlucky. All the bad stuff sort of happens to her. Had a harsh life, and that might have been why they got so close, is because he sort of felt some kinship of like, yeah, you've had it really bad. But yeah, that's all I got for that. I don't know if we.
Yeah, I mean, let's
follow that string. But
well, let's wonder. You know, like where did she come from? Is she a Tiger Claw? Is she a regular person? Is she an edge runner? Does she work at a nightclub? What did she do to get imprisoned? Did she upset some corrupt cops, or did she just commit a crime and she got caught? What do you think?
Yeah. Maybe it was something like some corrupt cops or something. Like she came into his clinic one day, and because of she was sort of down on her luck, she's trying multiple ways to sort of get Eddie's, and that's another reason why he sort of feels this kinship to her. Like, I understand the hustle, I understand like trying to claw your way up the ladder, and probably did a deal, and these cops threw her under the bus, and now she's got some severe jail time which she shouldn't have.
Yeah, it would make sense to me. Like, you know, on the street, you don't work with the police. That's like a #1 rule. You don't snitch. You don't work with them, because you're dealing with the devil. That's kind of like how they feel about it, you know? Because at any time when they feel like it, they could just do exactly what they did to Lucy and be like, hey, we need someone to take the fall. Let's just use this person.
Yeah. Enemies wise, Biotech, he hates. They were the main corpo that dealt with his dad. Absolutely hates them. There was a funny one, John and I rolled off for enemies, and it was there's a guy that's upset with me who sees me as his romantic rival, but Darren doesn't know this at all. It's a girl he treated at his clinic once, and for some reason this ganger has got it in his head that this is his romantic rival. And yeah, Darren doesn't even know he's like got this romantic rival, and he's just completely avoiding him and has these threatening messages sometime, but he just thinks it's spam. And the ganger's name is Kazuma.
Tiger Claw.
Tiger Claw?
Yeah. Always
Very much the Thanos, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Now let's go straight to our Netrunner.
So characters, Eris goes by Coil. Is developed for a rather unfortunate nickname of Slink, because some people thought that the Coil and Slink made her sound like a Slinky. Just going with it. She's just Slink. She's trying to be sneaky now. So she was sort of orphaned out, but in the combat zone, but was sort of picked up by kind of this weirder old Netrunner who basically took her under his wing. And so anytime anyone asked for his name, he would always respond with, "Well, I'll be frank with you." And that was it.
So everyone calls him Frank.
Yeah. Because he would just be like, "Well, I'll be frank with you," and then he would just go on to the next tangent of conversation.
Oh,
Does he
so you
mean
wouldn't
that
actually
both
say
ways?
anything after it?
Yeah, does he mean that in both ways? Like, I'm literally going to be frank with this conversation, and also I'm also telling the truth, like kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Or is
Yeah.
it just-
Yeah. So
Yeah, as far as we know, his name is Frank, but we don't know.
I'm going to be frank with
Yeah.
you, and I'm going to be Debbie with him. So,
All right. It could have been as far as Eris is concerned. That may not be his name at all. It
Mhm.
just, but as far as they're concerned, that's how they knew him, and so she basically learned under his wing. He was very much very freelancer, never wanted to be tied down, always kind of wandering from place to place, and so Eris kind of has led a similar life of just since they parted ways, just kind of going from job to job, working with different fixers, not really wanting to be tied down, so to speak. He left behind a notebook. As far as Eris can tell, it's gibberish. It doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to what's written in there, and it's like a physical notebook that was actually written in. Which
Wow.
and he's just just no idea what it's about, but he takes care of it, hoping to find him again at some point. He just said, "Well, you're doing all right," and it's like, "See you later," and then just disappeared. She's not been able to find him since. But
Wow.
considering she didn't actually know anything about him other than he was a Netrunner and he called himself Frank when she was around,
Okay.
wasn't a lot to go on.
But he gave Coil everything she needed to basically start her life.
Yeah, and taught her and worked with, brought her a few small jobs to kind of help her get set up and established a little bit of a reputation. She believes that the Slink may have been him.
Okay.
The Slinky Slink nickname may have been him,
Mhm.
but he never admitted to it either way.
would she get offended if other people use that? Or does she not?
So she's worked very hard to make the Slink be more of about being sneaky and stealthy,
Okay.
like a Slinker rather than a Slinky.
Yeah.
So most people don't really reckon. A lot of the people she works with now, I've never actually heard it as Slinky, mostly as
Mhm.
just as Slink, like Slinker.
Mhm.
And she works very hard to keep that reputation. She would probably be not flying into rage, but just don't call me that. That is not who. That is not correct. Yeah, so she's had a few people she's worked with in the past that like other Netrunners that kind of had run-ins, but not too many that she's had a lot of contact with. She's got one particular though goes by Jericho that kind of developed like a sort of frenemy situation. Like they'll try to avoid each other and not go after each other too hard. It's kind of
What's his name again? Sorry.
close. Jericho.
Jericho. And that's a handle, right? Is he a Netrunner as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I've just got an image in my mind of just Chris Jericho in Cyberpunk.
WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are like rivals, basically.
Yeah, but friendly rivals. You know,
Yeah.
they try to stay out of each other's way, or if we're on the same job, we'll make an effort not to try to hurt each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far
But
as
if-
enemies,
But if it ever came down to it, would you if you had to zero or flatline Jericho, would you do it?
honestly, probably not. Eris doesn't particularly enjoy doesn't particularly enjoy hurting people. Will get the job done when it needs to, but because of the kind of relationship they developed, unless it was a me or them situation,
Do you think Jericho feels
Would
the
rather
same
not.
way, or do you think Jericho's like, I'm a professional, I'll do whatever it takes?
So in Eris's mind, he feels the same way. They haven't had that discussion. They've kind of danced around the idea because neither one wants to find out that the other is, would be willing to. But, but Eris believes that
Okay.
he would also, let the job go rather than actually having to, take out Eris.
Before you go further, is there something that Eris did, like a moment in her career that cemented her as a Netrunner? Because Netrunners have their own private community. They have their own online message boards and stuff like that where they know each other, they know each other's accolades, and they have their own like specific reputation. So is there something that Ares did to cement herself as somebody, as an up-and-comer in Night City?
So, I think the reputation was helped a little bit by just her association with Frank, and one of the things that is her kind of reputation is that she tends to try to get in and out quietly and clean. She doesn't, I think there's not like one single incident, but it's kind of a lack of any real noise around her jobs. They just, she has a reputation for being close and quiet, and no one's really sure which jobs were necessarily hers because she manages to generally avoid any kind of notice until the job's done. They just know that the jobs are done and they're clean.
Okay, so she has a reputation of getting in and out quietly, doing a job. That's good. That's a good reputation to have. Okay, and then her association with Frank lets people know, like, oh, she knows what she's doing as well.
Yeah, like people know that that Eris isn't actively working with Frank anymore. Not because of something that she did, but just because Frank tends to come and go.
So yeah, now she's left to basically prove that she doesn't need Frank and she is her own person.
Yeah.
And basically that's where our story's like starting off.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, tell me about any more friends or enemies that you rolled for or anything.
So I did roll for an enemy, and I got so Karen is I rolled ex-lover. Am I just choosing names?
Hey, look, she wants to see the manager.
Karyn. But yes. Now, Karen was kind of, prim and proper businessy type, which was very, very opposite. Is very, very opposite of Aaron. Aaron's very like, combat zone chic, that we say, leathers and such. But they just kind of had they had a bit of a fiery romance that ended pretty abruptly when Eris was contracted to steal from a business that Karis owned, but like through like a third party. It was kind of like one of her Karen's shadier side projects, and Karis just didn't know, but completed the job, and Karis is just not forgiven her for it.
Wait, Karis or Karis?
So
I'm confused. Aaron.
Sorry, I'm gonna change the name because Karis is too close to Eris, and I realized that afterwards.
I thought it was I thought it was Karen.
Yeah, no, it was Karis, and I'm gonna switch it to Karen because I actually wrote Karis, and I'm realizing now that I was just in my brain.
No worries. So Karen had a job for Eris?
No, Eris got a job, and it was another one through Frank, and so didn't really know much about the details of the job. Just kind of was like, all right, Frank's bring it to me, do the job, and it turned out to be one of Karen's side businesses.
Okay.
Something that they'd been keeping under wraps, and basically just kind of cleaned them out. Stole some, basically stole a bunch of money and some intel from them.
So Eris didn't know that she was stealing from Karen?
No. So
how was that fallout
Karen
after?
Well, slightly nuclear. There wasn't gunshots, but there were definitely threats, and they've basically Karen tried to destroy Eris's reputation because of that, because their own reputation took a bit of a blow, and so they just kind of tried to basically put them on blast as much as they could. And so Eris did have to keep kind of a lower profile for a while because Karen was actively interfering with any jobs they found out that Eris was taking.
And then along came a low-level fixer named Arata.
Yep.
And said,
son of a bitch.
And said, hey, I see that you're in dire need of work, and I see that you've taken a hit on your reputation. So I got some work for you that can help you fix that reputation or mend it. And so that's exactly what Eris would do, right?
Yeah, work's work. You got to do what you got to do. And I don't think at this point Eris would not have worked with them before, so wouldn't know much about them aside from tidbits about their reputation.
Yeah. Okay, cool, man. I like that. So that's basically where Eris is, because then so the timeline would be Eris meets Frank. Frank takes her under her wing. They start doing jobs together. Eris meets Karen. They, have a romantic relationship. And then Frank gives Eris a job. Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't know that it had to do with Karen. and the side business. Maybe he saw something in Karen that was like, hey, she's not being truthful to you about her background, and I'm gonna prove it to you.
Yeah.
And then and maybe that was after the fact. Like after you did the job, you're like, dude, what the hell? You know, like that was like my girl, you know, that over.
Yeah. Frank would never did not admit to knowing anything about it. It's just like, that was just the job. It's just very, very like, don't know what you're talking about. Just the job. We do the jobs.
So maybe either Karen or Arata let you know, like, hey, Frank knew the whole time. You know, it's up to you to decide which one of the two. I
think Karen would have been the one in the whole blowing up thing. Been like, you know, he knew, he brought you on this, and I'm like, I didn't fucking know.
Yep. Yeah, but you know, no matter what, all that information got out. Her side business got ruined, so she just cut you off and try to ruin your reputation, which it did kind of work because the people were already like, oh yeah, now that Frank's gone, you know, she did this and Frank's gone, so like, yeah, she's nobody.
Yeah.
And or along comes Arata going like, hey, I'll pay you peanuts to try to get your reputation back. And that's when you meet like the other players, and I'm sure other people, guys have gone on jobs together or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Like go to this place, take control of the cameras, take control of the automated doors so we can let Theo in. Theo goes in, you know, maybe with Darby and Doc to see what they can do, you know. So it was like a 4-man operation. So you guys have all worked together under the umbrella of Arata, a low-level fixer. So yeah, I can totally see that happening.
Give me a shock now.
Careful the lightsabers.
Watch out now. Watch out now. So yeah, we're all. That's it. I think. Anything else about your character?
No, I mean, they're generally pretty quiet. They keep to themselves. You know, they like to just kind of get in, do the job, and get out without, you know, making any kind of fuss. And you know, because of the recent relationship issues, they're kind of keeping to themselves mostly.
Yeah.
Try not to, you know, get too close just in case another thing blows up in their face.
Okay, so yeah, how does Ares feel about the other characters, the other player characters? Just neutral, kind of like, hey, you're just doing work with them, or do they feel like a close?
So they're pretty. So as outwardly, they're completely neutral. They're trying very hard to just not show any kind of favoritism or interest. Do feel sort of a kinship with Derby, just because of that kind of like the focus on the work, the machines, rather than the people.
Darby would be very fascinated with the net running, and because it's a world that he's not familiar with but would like to know more about.
Yeah, and as a Netrunner, you've come across AI, emergent AI, or created AI.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Pick his brains.
Because in the Cyberpunk world, there's two kinds of AI. There's emergent AI, which basically an AI created this AI. And so it's like an AI went, hey, I can't go past my programming, but I can make an AI that can go past its programming. And those are the ones that exist. And then there's the other ones that were made by like corporations or somebody made the AI. So as a Netrunner, you come across them, especially if you go into the main net. I don't know how much you guys know about the lore, but in Cyberpunk 2020, there was a famous Netrunner, Raish Bartmoss, and he basically set off a dead man switch when he died of releasing this virus into the open net called Rabbids. And these Rabbids went on and multiplied, and now the entire net is infested with these Rabbids. So basically the internet was shut down because nobody could be in it, nobody could net run in it. It was dangerous. You would die immediately. The only things that can survive in the net were AI. And there were like pockets of the net called a black wall, which had a black wall, which was like this firewall walled off around it so the rabbits couldn't get in. Rumor says that Netwatch worked with the emergent AIs to create this black wall because it's kind of like an Agent Smith Matrix thing where like the Matrix is like, all right, we'll help you. Agent Smith is kind of causing trouble, so yeah, we'll help you, Neo, if you help us. You know, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So every Netrunner knows that. And now, fast forward in 2087, the net is back, and Netwatch was able to create a larger black wall. And the net exists, but it's like a city net. So Night City has its own internet. You can't reach the internet in Texas because that's in the open net. But there might be ways where you can get through if you know how to navigate it, but it's treacherous and it's dangerous. It's not impossible, but it's dangerous for a Netrunner. If we were like a 5-man Netrunner group, that's probably what our campaign would be, going around the net and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But if you're a lone Netrunner, it's going to be really difficult to navigate through the net. But the city net you can get through. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. So we have player backstories. We understand where everybody's coming from. We understand how you guys are all connected to each other. Arata's still alive. Arata's very much still out there. The only person Arata... Yeah, Arata has a really sour relationship with Theo. You guys are like on the verge of a fallout. The rest of you guys, you know, you've had your incidents with Arata. He's given you work and very much, you know, given you guys a help to your reputation in Night City. But as you work with Arata, you realize, you know, the true colors start coming out. That he just uses people and abuses people and for his own gains. And he's vindictive and jealous and all those things. All right, so you guys are in Night City in the year 2087. We've already talked about your backstories and how you're all connected. You don't specifically live with each other unless otherwise stated. Do you guys maybe live with each other, or do you guys all live on your own?
I think I live on my own, but I probably get a visit from Darby Bowler, every now and again.
Yeah.
Maybe he's with me now. I'm not sure whether we had something we needed to do.
Yeah, it would depend on the situation. Like mostly Darby would be doing his scavenging, and he's not really interested in human sort of social activities that much.
Okay. And then the rest of you guys, same, right? You guys have your own little spot.
Yeah. I think Doc would be at the clinic most times. Got his own small room there that he uses for sleeping and stashing his kits and gear.
So it is the evening time. It is the evening. You have just received a text message from Arata, each one of you, for a potential job. And, you know, the first question he's going to ask is, do you choose want to make some money?
I'm not going to text him back.
I was wondering.
I just reply, okay.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, seeing that Doc's gonna see it and he's immediately gonna text Teddy and say, "Are you getting this?"
I just texted back and I have like a rolling eye emoji, and that's all. I just send him back as, is this guy fucking for real?
Darby's fairly oblivious to this inviting situation. He's got bigger things to worry about, so he's just going to be completely nonchalant, sort of okay.
I want to get your name right, David. 1 sec. I was going to call you Aris. So, is she in the group chat?
It's not a group chat. It's an individual text to each one of you.
Right. Cool. Awesome. So I don't know her yet, so I'm not going to do anything about that. Or they. I don't know them yet.
So generally, they'll have introduced you as they. They are they're clearly female, but they do, you know, and they don't get like, they're not upset if you go that. They just, for work reasons, try to remain a little less,
For
you
obvious
know.
reasons.
In
Yeah.
the net there is no gender.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And outside, just to make it a little, you know, people aren't knowing what to expect. Yeah, they're not like hiding, like actively hiding, but they're generally introducing as they. Yeah, I've just Eris would just kind of send. I'm kind of like I think they have a little like snake emoji that they kind of becoming their calling card, just to try to really keep to the slink coil like snake thing rather than the slinky thing. So they're leaning hard into it, and so yeah, so this sends like a little like snake as a like an affirmative.
There you go. So even if you respond or not, Arata is gonna let you know about the job details and say, let's put our past in the past. This is business. And business means eddies. 1,000 eddies for each of you for a prototype piece of cyberware that was stolen from a corporation. One of my corporate clients has told me that they need that piece of cyberware back. And it's very important to them. And it might be very important to you, considering it belonged to a very famous rocker boy.
No.
And he has my attention. So and when I see that, I don't text him back, but I text Doc, and I immediately say, "Are you still at your clinic right now?"
You get a text back. Yeah.
I'm on my way. So I literally grab my jacket. I'm out the door. I'm in the street. I'm on the metro. I'm going to Doc's clinic to go face to face because I'm not like, you know, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, Arata will just say you have 2 hours to reply, or I'm sending it to somebody else.
Okay. I'm assuming I can make it there in 2 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Shall we move the scene over there, or do you want to do anything else?
You'd probably get a message from Darby saying, prototype cyberware sounds interesting, doesn't it? That's me going to Theo or Teddy.
I send him a text saying, at Doc's clinic, half an hour.
Okay. Get on. Yeah, I don't know. What do they call the railway system again? Or
Metro.
Just the metro, yeah.
Yeah, the metro.
Yeah, the metro's reliable. You can get there in like 15 minutes to half an hour.
Yeah, I'll make my way over.
And
Is this the one ring in Elvish? Is that what this is? Because I've just been staring at it for like the past 5 minutes.
Is it?
Is that
the inscription from the One Ring under there?
Is it? I didn't even
I
know.
think it is, you know. It is.
I didn't even know. It is.
It is middle,
Oh my god, it is. Yeah, you're right.
I've just been staring at it the whole time.
I didn't even realize that was there.
Paste it over. No one will notice. Yeah.
You found your first Easter egg. You get
They're talking
1,000 eddies.
It's some sort of Elvish. I can't understand it.
Maybe I could find a
It's
translator
just the
app for
entire
it.
lyrics, the get down, just an Elvish underneath the So Aris, I'm gonna probably send you a text saying, yeah, do you know where Doc's clinic is?
I imagine we've been working together a minute, right?
Yeah.
I would have.
You
guys, if we've been using it as a meeting place, then yeah.
Yeah, I say clinic. I copy and paste the same message to you. Clinic.
Cool.
Half an hour.
Yeah,
Alright.
I would head that way.
Yeah, and I'm sure using process of elimination and hitting up other edge runners, you guys realize like, oh, you know, you hit up 2-time Joey and he's like, I never got a text message. Or you hit up Cobra and she's like, nope, they didn't get one either. So through process of elimination, you realize it's the other players that got it as well.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not established as a sort of crew per se. Right?
You guys have worked together in the past, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to be working together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by process of elimination, my spidey senses are tingling that he's actually sorted us out. I'm not even giving offer this to anybody else. So I do kind of think he's bluffing on the 2-hour thing.
Well,
But, like-
why don't you roll an insight check, which is a human perception. And I'm going to give a -2 difficulty because you're not there in person. You're just reading it off of a text message.
So which the awareness and perception, yeah?
Yeah, so it is perception. No, it's human perception. So it would be in. Where are you? Social skills. There it is. Yep.
Social, yeah, third one down.
So you're at a 10 base. So D10 plus 10 is what you'll be rolling, and -2.
First roll of the campaign.
There it
There we
is.
go.
All right.
Here we go.
Don't fuck this up.
Plus 10, 13, -2, 11.
So 11. Yes, it's really hard. You know, as much as you have a hunch, it's really hard to really nail it down because it's through a text message. You have no evidence to prove that, so you're not really sure.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to head to the clinic then and hope the guys are there when I get there, or I can just wait around have a non-coffee caffeine drink while I'm waiting.
Yeah.
And if I get there, is there a patient in there? Am I interrupting something?
I'll tell you. Yeah, there is a patient in there. He is getting some very important cyberware exchanged. Like you're in the middle of surgery, basically. You're like working on this guy's neural link.
Theo's not much of a dick and a prima donna. He's just going to barge in. It's like, can you believe this motherfucker? And he's texting me after all the shit he's pulled. Can you believe this? Like,
Theodore,
this is the worst day of my life. This is the worst day of my life, dude. Sorry, man. Sorry.
The assistant is like
Sorry.
beside herself, like, this is a sterile environment. What are you doing?
I'm clean. It's fine. Been on the metro.
Theodore, did you not see the sign saying "in surgery" outside?
No. Oh, yeah. Sorry, my bad. You got a waiting area somewhere, or?
Yeah, you know where it is.
Fine, I'll
Go have a cup of coffee. I'll be with you momentarily.
Yeah. I just can't believe it. I'm muttering to myself, just incredulous. Oh, this guy's texting me after all this time.
I'm clean. I took a shower last week. Come on.
Yeah, it's raining outside. Oh.
It's raining.
Well, if you guys want to, you don't have to guess. There is a skill called personal grooming. Why don't we check that out? Personal grooming. It is a skill, a social skill. So it'll be on the right-hand side, top right. Personal grooming. Roll that for me, each one of you. Get paper.
Is
All
that
right.
D8, is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give.
10.
I'm gonna give Doc +3 because he's in a sterile environment.
Okay, and I
Just
did
roll.
set up the chem skin and tech hair, which does give me the +2. Yes.
There you go. Yeah, use
What are
it.
we rolling?
Personal grooming. That skill.
So it's a D8, right?
Yeah, a D10 plus whatever the base is. It's always going to be D10.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, good to know.
Oh, now I'm rolling hundreds
Oh,
of
hey.
D8s.
9 plus
Fine.
8.
So 7.
Yeah, cool.
So 17.
17.
Yeah.
That is a 3 plus 9, 12.
Okay. Doc and Darby.
All right.
I'm 7.
That's a 1.
Okay, so if in this game,
Plus,
Plus, worst.
is that a critical fail?
so the way critical fails and critical passes work in this game is if you roll a 1, you roll another D10, and whatever that result is, you subtract it from the total. So roll me another D10.
Okay, it's rolling. 10.
Yeah, that's like the worst thing you could roll. So it's +1 minus 10. What is your result? And then plus 3.
I think it's 0.
It's 0. So I did give you a +3. So you're at 3.
So it's 2 plus 4 plus the 3 you gave me, so that's 9, and the 1 I rolled. So 10,
and then minus 10,
right?
so you're at 0. Yeah,
It's 0.
You're at
It's 0. Blood is everywhere. There's blood in his hair.
yeah. So basically, like, you've been working so hard that you haven't had a chance to like take a shower or groom yourself. Like, you have the blood from like past clients on you, and even though you yelled that this is a sterile environment, you know, you're not sterile. That's the one thing.
I'm just this one there, dude.
Yeah, and
The environment is very clean.
Theo's in much better shape. You know, Theo's
Dude, that's
nice and clean.
well groomed.
Yeah, Darby, what did you get?
7.
7. Yeah,
5 plus 2.
yeah. So, Doc, Darby, you guys are, you know, have seen better days. I'm sure your work has made you lack on your personal grooming. But Eris and Theo, you're not too bad. Like, Theo is actually in good shape. Eris could use a shower, but it's not as bad as the other two guys.
I've just come back from the scrap heap, so I can imagine I would be a bit.
Yeah.
Dead.
I haven't done laundry in a couple of days.
Yeah. So Doc, as you're over here doing your work, in comes in Theo, in comes in Darby, in comes in Eris, and you're a little bit distracted. Do you want to keep doing surgery, or do you want to leave your assistant to finish it?
How competent is she? How far along that she can finish it? Is she? Do I know she's all right to handle it?
She insists that she's all right to handle it, but you're not sure. Why don't you roll me a human perception?
And that's is that a D8 again?
It's always D10, so it'll be D10
D10.
plus. Let's see, where's your character? It'll be
because I
D10.
rolled a D8 1. That's my mistake.
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it's D10 plus your the base of your human perception skill, which is your level plus your stat.
So 6 plus 17.
So 17 total. Okay, yeah. Yeah, just looking at her and the fire in her eyes, you can tell like she's been waiting for this moment, and she really believes that she can get it done. And you've seen her work enough that you're like, you know, she wouldn't lie to me about her competence. So yeah, you
Sort of put down the tool.
yeah, you've done enough of the surgery yourself that somebody could take over.
Doc puts down the tools and he's like, all right, you close it up. And he hands one of the puffers and he's like, make sure he takes 2 after surgery and 2 the next day afterwards.
Her eyes light up and she almost grabs the tools like right out of your hand right before you drop them down. And she says, I won't disappoint you, I promise. And she gets straight to work.
Takes the mask off and walks out of the surgery.
You walk out covered in blood.
Covered in blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the sight of all the blood covered Doc, I'm just there's like the light eyebrow raise. Because I imagine I heard the whole sterile argument while I was waiting in the waiting room. Just like sterile.
Yeah, so all 4 of you are in the lobby of the clinic, which will have to have a name. You know, maybe Doc's clinic.
The Bleeding Heart.
The Bleeding Heart. I like that. Write that down.
Not Doc's Chop Shop.
Doc's Chop Shop.
It would explain all the
I'm very tempted to call it Doc's Chop
Shop. Bleeding Heart's nice.
I'll let
nice.
Yeah, the GM can decide. I don't mind. They're both great.
Either way, you know, either way works.
The official name versus what everyone calls it.
Exactly. So you guys still have an hour and a half to respond to Arata's text message.
Right, Theodore, you were saying?
Yes, sorry about your stellar environment. You know, I can see you like to keep things, that's like wrinkle my nose, clean. This text, this is not going to fly. Okay, like this isn't real. This is some bullshit. Okay, if we go with this guy, we're all going to get shot or worse. That's just my input.
Well, as much as I don't like him and everything you've told me about him, 1,000 eddies is nothing to sniff at.
Yeah. I mean, he's never crossed me yet, but I do imagine that he doesn't particularly like me since I've been running with Theo, one of his rivals. But yeah, I mean, this could actually just be a ploy to sort of assassinate us all.
And aren't you curious about Theodore? A certain rocker boy?
Dude, snakes never change. No offense. No offense. And I point over to our Netrunner. Like, no offense, but like snakes, dude, they don't change at all. Like, he just. Do you really think? Yeah, a certain rocker boy. Like, just name names. It was just a skill channel. You know, just name names. He's doing it to try and get me out there to try and plug me, and this is like. But the more I think about it, the more I just want to go into that trap just to see the look in his face when I get out of it again. So, you know.
I mean, money's money. And when we all need it.
Prototype cyberware does sound very interesting to me.
I have a feeling Darby's going to go whatever we say, to be honest with you. So
Yeah. He's more interested in the prototype cyberware than he's not crossed. He doesn't fear for his life as much as possibly you guys do.
Yeah. Eris kind of just like puts hand up, like maybe a trap, may not be a trap. Either way, we're probably going. And if you know, and just I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always going in assuming someone's trying to jump me.
good point.
Yeah. We could always hear the details and back out afterwards, couldn't we?
Sure. So I'm going to look around the room. Am I okay to? Can I actually text him back? Is that in my capacity? Or
Of course.
Is it a secure thing, or I can't do that?
No, you can absolutely text. It requires no skill.
Okay, so I'm just going to text him and say, number one, you're still a massive fucking piece of shit. I hope you die. Full stop. Number two, 2,000 each. Full stop. Number three, deets. Full stop. I'm going to send that.
Well,
You get an immediate response. Charming as ever. ... 1,500, and deets will come if you accept.
Well, since I already know everyone wants to do it, I send him a text saying I'm in, and everyone that you text is also in.
And then you'll get a text back saying, "Oh, you're the ringleader now, huh? Figures."
I text him back saying, "Dude, have you seen my leather jacket?"
Yeah,
hard to argue with fashion.
He basically ignores that, and you guys connect onto an encrypted app on your agents that he's been using, that many netrunners and solos and edge runners use, where it's untraceable, and he gives you more details there, and he lets you know. Now that you've accepted the terms of the agreement, here are the following details. Prototype cybernetic arm called the RCP-1 Uridine by Raven Cybernetics. It was created for a special rocker boy back in the day, but he did not accept the terms of the contract. And while the prototype was made, it was never given to the actual customer or client. But it is a part of old tech that we've all been looking for. Raven Cybernetics has now gone belly up, and I have a corporate friend here that would really like to reverse engineer that piece of cyberware. Now, where you can find it is at a nightclub called the Iron Will. Nightclub, Iron, Will. Why don't you guys give me a Streetwise? Should be knowledge one, I think.
Yep. Streetwise is under social skills.
There it is.
Streetwise.
And then tell me who's got the highest.
So it's your base is what you add to
Definitely
it,
not
right?
me. Full.
Yeah, your base
What
plus
happened?
one.
You roll a
D10.
1 again?
Oh, you roll another die and you subtract from the total.
I got a.
Oh, I rolled another 1.
Oh, that's actually
nice.
That's actually good.
That's actually better.
Yeah, rolling a 1 and a 10.
Second dice.
Yeah, rolling a 1 and a 10 is bad.
My first roll ever of this game
Is the
was
worst
the
roll.
worst possible
Absolute
rolls I
worst
could
roll.
get.
I'm gonna grab a different D10 for my general rolls and keep that one for my fail roll.
Yeah, good idea.
I got a 19 overall.
19, okay.
I had a 9 overall.
Full.
4. And then Doc,
11.
11. Okay. So the rest of you are not really that privy to this nightclub. You've heard of it before, you've seen it, you know, just passing by, but you don't know what's going on with it. But Theo, you know this place as a known Maelstrom hangout. In fact,
By the name.
yeah, you've seen these guys there like all the time. This is like this is their stomping ground. It's not like a base of operations for them, but it is a place where they go recreationally, and that means that other gangs will likely not be seen.
But Maelstrom are like really unpredictable, and I don't like dealing with them.
Mm-hmm. But they
also
are
like-
enemies of the Tiger Claws,
Yeah, that's true.
and Arata works for the
Are
Tiger
you
Claws.
passing on that info?
I'm definitely going to pass on that information. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, this is a known like Borg hangout. Like this might be hot. We're this is the lion's den. It's not where they literally go to like, you know, I don't know what they do, sacrifice cyber babies or something. I don't know, but like they will be there in numbers. Packing, I don't know, but they're always packing. They're Borgs.
There you go. Yeah, and you know, the rest of the text message will say like you're not invited, so you have to make entry. And I have no idea where this piece of cyberware is, but last piece of intel told me that it might be there. There was a black box with an RC logo on it that is consistent with the black box that contained the piece of cyberware. If it's not there, then there will be a consolation prize of 700 eddies for each person, just for going out. If you find any other information about the piece of cyberware, I'll up it to 1,000, and I'll pay you your full 1,500 in addition to the 1,000 if you use that information to later go find it.
This is almost too generous. Like I know this guy
Yeah,
operates
it
as a
seems about
fucking
right.
snake. This is really generous.
Unless he's making a
Even-
metric shit ton off the sale of it.
Maybe.
I mean,
but,
if
like,
he's making like
paying us-
20,000.
Yeah, but paying us 500 eddies for nothing, we could like just not even go there and say we didn't find
700,
anything,
wasn't it?
and he'd what still pay
700.
700? Yeah, this stinks.
Yeah, that doesn't, because we could literally just sit on our asses for an hour and then just say we didn't find it, or not more longer than an hour, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's no friend of the Maelstroms, yeah?
No.
No,
He
you,
may just be
you know for a fact
just
it's
enough,
not.
yeah, pissing them off. Yeah, pissing them off might be worth the 700 each.
Maybe
I
I've
ask-
not seen the Eurodyne yet, you know? So I'm just like, I look down at it like, yeah, I'm definitely there. Yeah, let's just, you know what? Darby, you're right. We'll sit in a car in the rain and we'll just like play cards for like 6 hours, then we'll go back and we'll get 700. And I look down and I see the name Eurodyne. I'm like, you know what? Scrap that. You know what? We should go. We should definitely go. Like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
All over the place as always, Theodore.
Teddy, do you know much about this hangout? Is it a place where people just, like Maelstrom, tend to just hang out, or do deals go down here? Is there fixers
this
there?
is-
Do we know?
From what I've been told, sorry, John. No, from what I know, this is the kind of place that the Maelstrom and their buddies will hang there. It's kind of like walking into a biker bar without a cup. Like, you're gonna be, you know, if you don't know them, you're either not getting in, or if they find you there, they're gonna like straighten you out pretty soon, and you won't be allowed in again.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
walking in the front door. Does anybody actually have any cyberware?
Uh,
I don't.
Yeah.
I've
I
got a
do.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Neuralink interface plugs, and I got a bunch of fashion wear.
That's not bulk enough. Anyone else got any heavy stuff?
No, just a cyber eye and like a tool on my fingers.
Cyber could work.
Techie stuff.
I'll say
It's
the
just
cyber.
one-
Yeah, Theo, with your
Cyber?
with your streetwise check, you know that the Maelstrom like to openly wear cyberware. They don't like the stuff that looks like skin. They want to look like a metalhead.
Metal. Yeah.
But you know, you could have cyberware that looks like real skin. So like you're fully borged out, but it looks like you.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get them past the bouncer if, like he says, they're very fleshy, and if they're covering up their chrome as well, they're going to see that as like an insult, maybe.
Yeah.
So
GM.
I do have the tech hair, tech skin, so I could make that go flashy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's when I was looking at it, it says you can change you can have it to be able to change colors, extend, retract on the hair, and the chem skin. You can have the color shift.
Yeah, you can
Right.
you can
Yeah.
chrome out your skin and make your tech hair look like it's neon red.
We'll come
GM.
back. I think Doc had a question, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Have I worked on any Maelstrom guys before?
Oh yeah. One of your best your best clientele are the Maelstrom. They always come in. But why don't you roll me 3 surgery rolls?
3 surgery
shit.
rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See how well you did.
Yeah,
You killed all 3
Ever since that first roll, I'm nervous now rolling dice.
I'm nervous too.
through infection.
Surgery. Where's surgery?
So it should be, if it's not a skill on your skills, I think it's your med tech.
Special. It's a special. Yeah, it's a special
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Did you put any points into it?
3 rolls. Yeah. I got 2.
Okay, so it'd be 1d10 plus 2, right?
There's the first one. 6
6.
for the
Okay.
first one.
5.
5.
Okay.
Not great. And another 6.
Okay. So yeah, just from your past experience, you did okay with them, but they weren't like crazy happy with your work. You realize that low-level Maelstrom guys start coming to you now instead of like the mid guys and the lieutenants. Like they probably go somewhere else. But low-level guys that don't have a lot of eddies will come to you.
And I don't have any contacts that I could ring up and ask, hey, can you get me in this club?
Well, like I said, they're low-level guys,
Yeah.
so you could call
Yeah.
them and they'll be
All right.
like, dude, who do you think I am? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you could have that conversation, we could role play it, but you just know that these guys are not lieutenants or anything. They're grunts.
No.
Yeah, I doubt Darby would have had any dealings with them, primarily being with Voodoo Boys and Tiger Claws. I mean,
Yeah.
Unless you think I would.
It's up to you if you think your character would have ventured out. It could be a little bit dangerous considering the connections that you have.
Yeah, I think he would have been quite loyal, at least, to whatever gangers that he was with, so he wouldn't have bothered trying to, especially Maelstrom. They look kind of scary guys to begin with.
Yeah.
GM, just one other thing. With my surgery skill, because it's the 2 points that I put in, is there anything else added to it? I just realized.
No, I think it's just 1d10 plus
Just
the 2.
Okay. Plus
Yeah.
whatever. All right.
Yeah, and
just checking.
Yeah, the DV is based on, because you're not adding your stat or your or anything. It's a different metric to
Okay.
determine
No.
whether you passed or not.
Just wanted to know that I'm giving the right number.
Yeah. You rolled like middle of the road. So
Yeah. All right. No worries.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the situation. Details were, sent out, and it's up to you guys to figure out how to take care of that.
Would there be like a list, or is it they're just going to be recognize the people who did let in on site?
I guess you're gonna have to go and find out, huh?
Can I ask my emergent AI to just look up anything she can on
On the city
on that
net?
locale?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you
Yeah, I
roll
will.
a library search with the +1? The library search is a skill. It's a ×2 skill. It's really important.
Yeah, so I've got. All right,
Uh,
I've got 8. I don't know.
You
what-
got 8. Yeah, you didn't put any points into it.
No, I didn't. I don't know.
It's actually
is
not a
library
×2.
search plus?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Why can't I get off this chat? There we go.
Yeah, so 1d10 plus
so
8.
plus 1. Yeah.
Hey, roll another d10.
Hey.
Hey,
So that's 11, 19
tax.
plus 5, so 24 is what you got there.
Dang.
Absolutely
Yeah.
crushed that roll.
Dude knows his computers, man.
Yeah. So
Um,
your emergent AI, what was the name again?
Aura.
Aura. So
AURA.
Aura contacts you and says, searching through databases and basically looking through social medias, accounts and flyers, digital flyers put out there. You can see that this is an invite only place, and that Maelstrom would have to put you on a list to get in. But there have been calls to people to try to come and party over there, because it can't just be all Maelstrom. They gotta have some people to mingle with. You know what I mean? So the people that they do invite are university students, because they're the most fun.
Okay. Yeah. All
He's
right.
not
quote,
met a
unquote.
university student out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
you'll
I
see these
relayed that
digital
to the-
flyers around social media posts.
So if we,
guys, I think my emergent AI has notified me that we may have an in if we use some sort of social media or networking. I'm not the coolest guy, so I think somebody, and I imagine Aura would have maybe given me some contacts. through
Yeah,
social
it would
media.
be Night City University is the main one
Right.
that's invited.
Night City University seems to be promising if we can sort of portray ourselves as university students
Could
or
I-
whatever, we might have an in.
could I mock up some IDs, like digital IDs for that?
Of course, there's a forging document skill.
Hmm.
Forged document is a technical skill, I believe. Yeah, forgery
Somewhere around here.
tech right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have that
Maybe-
skill, or remember, you have luck as well. You guys can use your luck pool. It refreshes every session. So you
Would it
can.
be
How
something
is
that
that
we could like?
used?
Sorry, say that again.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
know.
say.
I was just wondering how the luck is used, because I
So
got
before the roll, you say, I want to pledge this much luck to the roll, and you just add it to whatever the result is.
Okay, so it's like a flat modifier. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a way to kind of work together on doing it to help out to, improve
Absolutely.
the
Like give
result?
advantage.
Yeah, so there's complementary skills. So you roll a skill that will complement the forgery skill, and it adds a +1 to the forgery skill, basically, if you pass. So what
Okay,
kind of
'cause,
skill do you think you would use to maybe help with the forgery of the document?
The electronic security tech.
Okay, so basically what you're doing is going through the net database and using your electronic security. So you don't actually have to do a net run because you have plenty of time, even if it takes 5-10 minutes. You would roll that and try to hack into their database and see any pertinent information that would have to be on the forge.
Okay. So I'm going to do that, and I was also wondering if like between players, if we could, because if it's going to be more of a physical forgery, I imagine Derby would be more skilled in that. But let me roll that electronic security tech. At least that'll give me a better understanding of what we need for that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
sounds good.
that's a 9 plus, and I've got plus 15.
Ooh, so 24.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect. Absolutely crushed it. Yeah, going through the Night City University website, you go and connect into their database, and after moving around and getting through some ups and downs, you find out that Night City University student IDs have such and such information, height, weight, the subject that they are mainly studying is on there as well, and then a photo. So one by one, you can add those photos and all that, so you can relay that information to Darby, and then Darby, you can forge the document at a +2.
Yeah. I have a +1 in it already, so it's +3.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then plus your stat, which is 8.
Yeah. So 9
Oh.
plus 8, 17 plus 3,
So
20.
9, 10. Yeah, 20. Yeah.
Yeah, so one by one, you guys are at your home base, so I'm sure you have all the tools you need. You print out these documents, you cut them, you laminate them, and you guys have bona fide Night City University documents showing that you are students. But I do want to know, roll me a D10. Odds, you choose what you're studying. Evens, it's randomly generated.
This is going to be.
Is that for everyone?
Nah, just for steady.
I got 10.
Oh, I
sorry.
choose. Yeah.
Okay, so 3. So you choose. So for each one of these characters, tell me what their main subject of study is.
Am I allowed to confer with them first, or do I just?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Guys, what do you want to be your major study?
Just real before. So as Darby and I are working on it, I will kind of say, what would be fun is if we make Theo have religion as a study.
I mean, it's fun, but also, I'm not going to answer any questions on that because I know fuck all about it. So if anyone presses me, we're done.
Well, the question is, do you think Maelstrom will be asking you those kinds of questions?
No, but like, I'm guessing they'd want to question why a guy dressed like a half cross between a rocker boy and a solo would be studying religion. But that's might be too late. Yeah, I was thinking performing arts would probably be in his wheelhouse.
All right.
Like,
Okay.
Performing arts.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do engineering for myself. When I don't know what the others.
Others?
I assume there's just like a generic net studies.
Net studies. Okay. We'll put net science.
Net security one.
Yeah.
And then Doc.
Well, he did not finish, but he went to med school, so it's probably medicine.
Medicine.
But while they're forging these documents, can Doc go get a shower and sterilize himself? Because he's actually, even though he's covered in blood, he's freaking out about it, and his eyes are wide because he just hates the grime on him.
Yeah. Since you told me that you're taking a shower, I'm gonna bring you up to a 18 on your personal grooming, because you basically just took as much time as you can to get to a satisfactory level. Theo, you're fine. Darby and Eris, I don't know if you guys want to maybe take a shower if Doc will let you.
I think it's in keeping with being engineering, so I'm not. And Darby's not bothered about personal grooming.
I'm going to press Darby to rinse off if we're going to be going to a club.
Okay, if I must.
Yeah.
And then he'll follow you to the bathroom, but not go
So
to the
yeah,
bathroom.
satisfactory level, I would say. Washes his
I'll
hands.
probably get some aftershave out of my jacket and just bump it on sort of thing.
There you go. We'll put you at
Yeah.
20. We'll put you at 20 then.
He puts
Harris is
some,
gonna do a-
like typical like closet rocket boy. He puts someone between us down below as well, just in case.
Yeah.
We're going to a maelstrom bar, but hey, there's some hotties in there. You never know.
So yeah, Eris is gonna kind of still wearing the kind of the nomadic leathers, but like roll the sleeves to show off the tattoos and kind of like roll up the shirt a little, show a little like midriff, kind of get a little more clubby looking.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
While still wearing, while like, but still like rough, so they're not like. She will not do prim and proper.
Okay.
Or like.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you guys are groomed well enough. This is a job, so it's part of your profession to like make sure that you get into this place. So you guys are looking good, smelling good, feeling good, and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to do?
We don't have a vehicle.
Yeah, none of you have a vehicle. Vehicles are really expensive.
Wondering.
They're you can call a cab.
Like a bike's like 20 grand. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You can call a cab.
Yeah, university.
You can steal a vehicle.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly.
Just one thing I would like to add is we will be turning up uninvited still, even though we've got these credentials. Do we not need perhaps Teddy to sort of get us some sort of like so that our list is on at the door? Like we're on a list at the door, rather.
I'm more thinking that we should probably look like we're already on a night out.
Oh right, yeah.
I'm gonna down a few like spirits, nothing much, but like a few shots of whiskey, just to like have the smell and look like I've been out and about, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have my.
Want to stumble around the corner, and go, hey, let's go in here, and they can. I want these guys to think they're gonna take us for everything when we get in. Like they're gonna steal from us. They're gonna like, you know what I mean? These punks, like let them in, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So on the bounce, like, oh, easy prey, cool.
Well, from the social media posts that it was like a call to action for all Night City University students to come by. While they're not personally on the list, the credentials of showing that you're a student might get you in. They still might be like, for whatever reason, like, no, I don't want to let you in. But you won't know until you get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna fancy up the tech hair and the chem skin, and just like to show off as well.
I leave my non-concealable weapons in the doc surgery.
Yeah, I put the Mandalorian like behind me in my pants, as you do. Cover it with my jacket.
Yeah, I've got my handgun and my knife concealed.
Yeah. Obviously not bringing a sniper rifle with me to a club.
I mean, you could, but like
I could, but I'm smart enough to know that's not a good idea. So I've just got the knife with me.
Which part an old man from his walking stick?
Yeah.
Nice.
An old man with his part. Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
Old man with his boomstick.
Actually, I will actually. I'll bring the minigun, and because I got the trench coat, I'll sort of hide it behind me, like sling it around my back. Got the trench coat, and maybe there'll be more taken by my lovely bright yellow tie. SMG.
The mini gat, the SMG.
Oh, I was just at the minigun. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think I did say.
You can take Gatling gun.
I think I said minigun because it's a mini gat, and I was like, my brain went minigun. No, not a minigun.
That was definitely a moment of mine, just like the minigun.
This dude's going like full predator on his ass.
Right. That's a bold-fashioned statement.
That new chrome that I just put in that like just comes out of my chest.
Oh man, that's great.
And I got my newsboy cap. Got my nice new boy cap, looking very Peaky Blinder style.
I like it.
Nice.
So you guys gonna take the train?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm ready to tell.
As we go out the door, I'll ask the doc how do you need to check on your assistant? Like, is the surgery okay? Like,
Oh, Doc, is she single?
oh, look. Priorities.
Theodore, keep it in your pants.
We are
We're gonna place
resolutely
some
walking.
business right
I'm just pushing people out the door.
GM, should she be done by now? Or,
No, she has a couple more hours if she's taking
Okay.
her time and doing it right. But as you peek in, you see that she's doing a very competent job. She's using the right tools just from you peeking, you know, not like investigating fully, but just looking, you're like, all right, she's using the right tool, moving the right things around. So it looks like you're on the way. Okay, should be good. So you guys are going to be taking the metro?
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So on the metro, as you guys get on, it's pretty uneventful. You're just hanging out, you know, unless there's something you guys specifically want to talk about.
Not really.
Yes, no,
No.
yay, or nay.
I don't think so.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So as you guys are on the metro, a group of vagrants, you can see them going up and down the aisles and just kind of like generally harassing people, like one guy knocked the agent out of another dude's hand, and then they laughed about it, pointed at him, and he just like mind his own business, doesn't want to get involved. And then they get to you guys and they kind of like size you up and look you up and down, and they go straight to Darby, and one of them says like, "Hey, I like your hat. What size of your hat? What size is your hat, guy?"
I give him the measurement, like 61 centimeters or whatever it will be in inches.
I want your hat, is what I'm saying. So just give it to me. There won't be any issues.
I'm
Not going to happen.
What do you mean it's not going to
Oh, sorry,
happen?
Michael.
I mean, it's not going to happen. This is my hat. Like, he's completely like nonchalant. Like he's not having
Sorry.
it at all.
Can I regale people with a personal story? That's why
Oh,
he
here we
really
go.
doesn't want to give this out.
Oh
away.
no! Seriously, is this
Well, I was thinking
is
this
this the
like
guy that lost his hat?
The guy that lost his hat. I'll do it another time, but there's a very
do it.
real life reason why this hat is not leaving Steady's head. Get my cold dead fingers.
Well, look, I don't think you understand me, guys. So I'm trying to tell you here: if you don't give me your hat, we're gonna have problems. And you see, from the four of them, they pull their trench coats to the side, and you see like various hand-to-hand weapons, a very sharp knife, a bat with nails on it, and one
Are
guy
we-
has brass knuckles.
Are we sat like together?
Yeah.
Or are we kind of like
Up to you.
you know, like a couple of people across? I mean, I would imagine we wouldn't just be sat four in a line, like a couple across, you know.
Yeah.
Can I just like
I
show
just
him
look up this
show him my Malorian?
guy up and
Are you
down
fucking
and
serious? Yeah. Fucking serious, dude?
Roll a
You're bringing
persuasion at a
board
plus
for a
2.
gunfight?
which person?
Is this me?
Theo, yeah, you pulled out the Malorian.
So 14 D10 plus 14 plus 16.
16 total.
20.
20, okay. So the guy that was just talking sees the Malorian and kind of looks at you, and I think he's finally like putting it together. You realize he's probably on some kind of blue lace or
Yeah.
something, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of drugged out. And then he realizes like you guys are all together, and he's just like, "Oh no, I was just messing, Chum. I was just messing,
Can I
Chum."
just say, like, yeah, do you still have a thing with you about take a fucking hike?
Yeah. No, for sure. We're gonna go hike right now. There's a nice mountain up on, and then like you see his other buddies are just like so embarrassed of him,
Off you fuck.
and they move on, and you see them harassing other people in the same train car. Do you say anything, or you just let it go?
Nah, shit.
All right. So the rest of your trip is pretty uneventful. Those vagrants just harassed some people. They robbed another guy. You just gave him like 30 eddies, and they left him alone. And then you get to the Iron Will, nightclub just outside of it. After a little bit of walking from the train station.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
A big reveal.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
I want it.
So
Look
a
at that
little
guy.
bit about how these maps work. These little red dots here, if you mouse over them, they give you little contextual clues about what's going on. So, you know,
It's so
as
cool.
you guys are there. But I want you guys to put your minis right here.
Yep.
Somewhere over there. And I'm just going to make them a little bit bigger.
That's what she said.
Oh, look at all that. That's cool.
We did it.
That's a cool one, that. That's cool.
We did it.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are outside of this nightclub. There's a large line of people standing, trying to get in. It's going to take you a little while to get in. Front entrance is over here. You see a big borged out bouncer wearing Militech gear. Militech, I mean, he's flagged with Militech all over him.
Militech.
And also, sorry, Maelstrom, not Militech. I meant to say Maelstrom.
Oh, feed.
Buddy. So you guys are close to the Maelstrom guard, and you're just like cutting people in line. So you just hear people go, "Hey, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?"
I would have happily waited in line if it wasn't going to take all night. Would you have taken all night?
Sorry, say that again.
Like, it was the line huge? I would have happily have waited and not like I've not made any scenes. I know I moved my character over here, but I would happily have waited if it was with a reasonable time. I could have got in.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can wait in the line. You can go straight to the front. It's whatever you want to do.
As long as if the line looks like it's going down and I'm going to get in within the next half an hour, I'll wait. No problem. I don't want to cause a scene. I want to be like a normal student.
The line looks like it's moving slowly. Like as someone comes out of the exit over here, the bouncer clocks that and then lets other people in. So we're all waiting for somebody to leave, and just looking at the general mood of the people in line, you know, you're seeing young people from NCU, some corporates as well, and just like normal, you know, clubbers that are hoping to get in, but it looks like they've been standing there for a little while.
Okay. I'm quite flush with cash at the moment. I'm gonna try and bribe a few of these guys. I'm gonna try and steal their place in the queue rather than causing a scene. If everyone's okay with that, you guys okay with me doing that? I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go like if I'm gonna scan the crowd for somebody who looks most amenable, and then I'm gonna approach them and just say, hey, Jim, my girl's inside, and I came up for a smoke, and they're not letting me back in. Can I just jump in front of you? Listen, I'll give you 100 eddies. Just up and jump in front.
So you see some male students that look like they're from the Night City University. You know, they got the uniform on, and they're wearing it in like a preppy way. And
Oh, sweet. What's your major? Cool. I'm breaking ice, you know, shit like that.
yeah, and they like look at you, and one of them says out loud, like, "I don't think I've ever seen you on the campus. What are you studying?"
Oh, I'm an outreach student. Most of the time I'm at home, but I come into the campus every once in a while. Yeah.
So roll me a
Performance studies.
conversation.
Okay.
Conversation is a social skill. And basically, we want to see if these people really want to engage with you in conversation before you try to bribe them.
So let me zoom out of here, go back to my sheet. I'm trying to do it disciplined, do it from the sheet again. Conversation is a plus 12. Nice. That's 19.
19. All right. With a 19, you can see that they are willing to talk to you. They're having this conversation with you. And after you tell them, you know, like what you've been studying, they go like, "Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, NCU is pretty big. I'm telling you, every year I meet a new person that I didn't even know was there."
Me too, man. Like every single time, like my friends here, Like we're all students, and like we don't really get out that often. We're kind of shut in. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not like you guys. We're not coming out on the town all the time, like getting pussy. You know, that's just not not our thing. But the one girl I did meet, she's in there now, and I swear to God, dude, there's a Valentino around here somewhere. He's talking to her. He's getting right in her face. I just got to get in there. I've got to get in. Like, I swear, like 100 eddies, and you can get yourself drinks with it. You know what I mean? My dad's loaded. It's no sweat. It's all cool.
Tail as old as time, Choom. I get it. You know, you gotta chase tail every now and then, especially when it's worth it. And those Valentino girls, I get it. Yeah, Choom, whatever. I'll take the 100 eddies. That's right. You can hang out in front of me.
All right. Enjoy the drinks, boys.
Yeah, I don't have to roll for it. Your conversation roll was high enough, and with the credentials that you have, you know, everything seems above board. So they let you out in front. And there's the four of you. The bouncer's kind of just like on his agent. As he's looking at the exit, he's on his agent, not really kind of looking at you. And then
Can I try to flash the have my tech hair be a little flash and kind of like try to get his attention and give him a wink?
Which guy? The
Bouncer.
The bouncer? Yeah, sure. You can do that. Why don't you roll me a, let's see here. So what is this wink comprised of? Is this like I want to start a conversation, or is this just like a flirtatious kind of
just a little flirtatious, trying to get like in, the standard like, hey, you want to let us in, kind of thing.
Yeah, all right. Roll me a persuasion.
All right. That is a 5 plus 16.
All right, with the 16, the bouncer like looks up at you over their agent for a second, sees the wink, looks back down at their agent, and kind of does like a double look, and like kind of looks at you quizzically and says, like, points at themselves, like, me? Were you looking at me?
I'm just gonna kind of give like a shrug and like give him a look up and down.
And he goes,
like kind of like a shy shrug.
Yeah. And he kind of like walks up to you a little bit, or like beckons you forward and says, like, what's your name, Choom?
Sorry, bad with names. Actually, I go by Coil. You've been here long? That's our first time here.
Coil.
Heard good things though.
You see him thinking to see if he recollects that name. And he thinks, wait a minute, Coil. I've heard that name before. Some kind of Netrunner?
I'm learning. I'm gonna flash my student ID.
Oh wait, no way. Coil's an NCU student this whole time? Am I breaking news here?
Oh. Well, I don't know which Coil you knowing, but I'm just trying to have a good time here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not in those circles. I just heard your name before and seemed to be like some crazy stories behind it, but looking at you just seems like they might be rumors, right?
I mean, I'm hoping to have some crazy stories once I graduate, but she's Ari's gonna kind of try to look confused, like, maybe this person is like that it's just the same, happens to be the same name.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, you could be a different Coil, everybody's different, but thought I've heard that name before. Yeah. You know somebody named Frank?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I might be a guy in one of my classes.
Yeah. Thought I heard that name with it before. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't think Coil's supposed to be an NCU student anyway. You're too young to be that same person. But anyway, you guys trying to get in. Looks like, how many are in your party?
I got the four of us. We got a night off. We got some money to spend. It's been a stressful semester.
Geez, what a sausage party. 3...
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I could let you guys in. I mean, one of your buddies might have to stay out. I'm not sure.
I mean, you know, they got money to spend, and I'm gonna can I slip him like, think what is like, I guess like, I mean, what would be kind of a reasonable kind of to slip a bouncer? Like, would 20 be reasonable, or would it be more like a 50 kind of situation?
20 will get his attention. 50 is probably the best bet. You know, 50 will just like, you know, no, yeah. 50 is like no question. Like he'll be like, all right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll slip him I'll slip him 50. It's like they're a good time, promise.
If I didn't know that NCU students had this kind of scratch.
Be without parents.
We haven't. I mean, you know, we got parents. We got.
All right, you can come on in. Just don't cause any trouble. But before you walk in, we got to make sure that we pat you down for any weapons. All right, it's just standard procedure. Weapons aren't allowed into the nightclub.
Of course, you know.
Fair enough.
All right, so now I want each of you to roll a conceal reveal to conceal the weapon that you are bringing in.
Okay. Let's find it again.
You'll reveal.
Oh boy.
That is. Where's that under again? Oh, it's under awareness skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
7 base.
7 plus 18.
Okay.
Can I use a luck here?
Absolutely. Might as well. We're getting towards the end of the session.
Yeah.
20. I get.
use the luck.
I got 10, but I'm going to up it by 2 for using 2 luck.
Okay.
Only 12.
I'm
Going forward, you have to announce
Add
luck
3.
before the
So
roll.
12 total, North?
Yeah, 12 total.
Rest of you
And
guys?
18 total.
18?
20 total.
Oh, come on.
Paris, and then...
Oh, thank goodness. 10. It's a natural success. A critical success.
nice.
Whatever. So that's in total 20.
So you when you roll a 10, you roll another d10 and you add it to the...
Oh, wow.
Critical.
Okay.
20 plus whatever.
Yeah, so 20
Nice.
plus whatever.
What if you roll another 10?
Then, well, it stops exploding, but in previous Cyberpunks, it keeps exploding, but in the new one, it just explodes once.
23.
23 for
Good.
Doc. Darby.
20 for Derby. 20.
20? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so Theo, you just know that you might have not done such a good job hiding your weapon, but you're one of the last people. So Eris, he starts patting you down first and just lets you through, says, okay, you're good. Doc, you're good. Darby.
Can I call Eris back to me? Just for a sec. Not when she's been patted down.
Do whatever you want. Yeah, Eris doesn't. You don't have to walk in. He just tells you you're good to walk in, but you don't necessarily have to walk in right away.
Eris, come here. Listen. I'm really sorry about what I said. Like back in, I'm going to say something really banal. That's going to be like making it teen drama. Like, look, listen, I didn't realize that she'd say that to you. I'm really sorry. As I'm doing that, I slipped the Malorian out of my back pocket and I put it underneath her, like basically above her backside, basically, and cover it up with the coat. Basically, that means she's already been patted down.
All right, so that is a stealth maneuver.
Sweet. I'm good at
So there's no sleight of hand, is there? I don't think so.
I think.
No.
Yeah, I think it's
Stealth is
just.
under body.
Pretty sure there's no sleight of. Yeah, it would just be stealth.
No.
14.
Would I be able to help him in this endeavor?
Well,
What about 18?
with your roll, I'll give it a +1 because of your conceal reveal. So what was your total?
19.
19?
19 then. 19.
Okay, so yeah, with a 19, you just put it right into your coat, and you know, they start. You're good because you've already been searched.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of be like, after he kind of does that, I'm just gonna be like, you know, words are words. Let's just go have fun.
Alrighty. I'll just pat her ass and send her on the way. I go and get her.
And
I'm gonna give him I'm gonna do like a point, like like crossing a line. And then I'm gonna head in.
and then the bouncer's gonna search
Rock a
you,
boy.
Theo,
That's
and
fine.
they're gonna find nothing other than your agent. And what other personal
I
effects
okay?
you have, but they don't
I'll
care
be
about
good
any
for
of
it.
that. All right, so now you guys are inside of the nightclub.
Start be okay?
Okay.
You guys are in the nightclub.
okay.
Immediately, the first thing you see is a large group of Maelstrom guys, heavily cyberware, sitting at a table right in front of you. They eye you as you walk in, but they're too busy talking. There's people playing billiards next to you. There's thumping music. And you see an employees only section back here. You see a VIP section over here, another VIP section in the opposite area. And then there is a office over here that's locked and closed up. But yeah, that's basically all that you guys see as you walk in, and that's all the information you have. And this is exactly what
John,
we're going
is
to
it
leave
all
off.
one floor? Is
Okay,
it all
that's good.
floor?
Awesome.
Sorry, say that again.
Is it all one floor?
Yeah, it's all one floor. It's the bottom floor of a big building. There is multiple floors to this building, but to access the other sides, you have to go to a staircase outside of the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sling, could you pull up like a schematic real quick of the place? Can you do that?
Yeah, you can go through the city net and do a library search through Night City Hall and see if you find any blueprints or schematics for the floor plan of the place.
I'm guessing we should go and get a drink while this is happening, so we're not looking like a bunch of dudes just milling around.
Like you're casing the joint.
Yeah, like casing the joint.
I will have
This is
one
the bar.
beverage.
A beverage of your finest beverage.
Yeah.
I'm on the bar. I'm going to do that.
So yeah, depending on your lifestyle, this beverage will be free. If your lifestyle doesn't afford you this kind of luxury, then you'll have to pay out of pocket. It's 10 eddies
Good.
for a
Yeah.
nightclub drink.
All right, how do I? Let's see.
So depending on what lifestyle you picked, which one did you pick? Good
Let me go
pre-pack?
back to it. No, I was the lower one.
The kibble?
Yeah.
Yeah, kibble, then you're gonna have to pay 10 eddies out of your
Yeah.
pocket, my friend.
I'll pay for a
Free
drink.
pack? Do I pay?
I'll pay for a drink. It's fine.
Yeah, good
How do I-
pre-pack, you don't have to pay.
Okay.
Generic pre-pack. Each weekend you can afford to go out to a good bar. Yeah, generic pre-pack, you don't have to pay either.
I think anybody who needs a drink, I'll get it. I'll pay it. I'll pay the whatever it is.
I will take
What a
back
good
my 10
friend.
then. Right? How do I split this 200 into like?
Oh, I'll just give you.
Oh.
You want change?
Oh yeah, because I did the 50, so I need to give that and get
You
50
need
back.
50s.
Right? Well, I'm giving 50 to you, so I just need 50 back from that 100. Because I bribed the security guard.
Here's 200 eddies right here.
So here, let me give you back this
Yep,
100,
I'll take
and then the 150 from the bribe, right?
Like Monopoly.
What did you already get? Right? So 50, 50, 20.
As he's doing that, can I just look around and see who's in the VIP area?
Yeah, you will the
Just
next
look
time
around.
we reconvene because we're gonna leave off right here.
Yeah.
I just wanted you
All right.
guys to get a taste of the system, see what it's like, and
Sweet.
play the characters a little bit before we really get into it. But next time we're going full on.
That's good.
Session 1. We have a place, we have a task, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Is there any questions, comments, concerns, anything you guys want to talk about?
I'm just upset that I gave that
Not immediately.
That-
No.
absolute gonk
Exciting.
100 eddies to get
Yeah.
in. But that,
I mean, you could always get it back.
nah, he's good. He seemed all right.
Yep.
Nah, everything was great. And John.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome,
Intro.
man.
Yes, brilliant.
Thanks, John.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, we're just getting a taste. Wait till you guys get into combat and stuff.
So many concerns.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
immediately
lot
gonna
of
get
things.
shot.
A lot of things.
Well,
I want
at
you
least
to
I got
ruminate.
my gun through.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about how you're gonna crack this nut of finding this information.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Well, we've got the schematics
Alright.
now to study in our downtime.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we'll do a bit of that.
Yeah, we'll roll. You actually, yeah. Do you want to roll for that real quick, Steady?
What am I rolling for?
So,
Sorry?
library search. You're going through the city net to see if you find any public records of the schematics of this place.
Well, I was actually going to say, like, when that
both.
mega roll that I had when would she not have on my emergent AI? Would she not have uncovered it?
Yeah, so
like that?
you were actually, when you did that, you were looking for how to get inside. You weren't really looking for schematics
Okay.
and stuff.
Makes sense.
But you know, going to City
library-
Hall and all that, that's a separate thing.
I'm going to try. I'm lawyering.
Oh yeah.
13 bonus. So that will be 17.
Yeah, with the 17, you can easily access public records. You see the schematics of the place. Everything looks about the same. Behind this bar is their kitchen and bathrooms on the top right. The schematics do not show a room on the top left over here, so this is an unpermitted addition to the nightclub that is not part of the schematics.
Okay.
Okay. I'll message the other 3 with them schematics so that they can peruse that information.
Oh, and you also did find violations where they were serving the underage people.
Oh, right. So we might have
Go
a
figure.
They have that
Also-
going for them.
blackmail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good. All right,
That's
so
good.
that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. I think we had a successful session there. Session
Yeah,
0.
thank you.
And next time we hang out, we're gonna see what's going on at the Iron Will.